warmer world is a more traumatic world. Because weather-related disasters are becoming increasingly frequent and severe, our exposure to death, serious injury, and other traumatic events is also increasing. That means we need new humanistic forms of climate storytelling that can help us recover from those environmental traumas and prevent them from happening in the future. This is the work of the Climate Disaster Project, an award-winning international teaching newsroom based at the University of Victoria. In the past, climate journalism has often focused on the impact climate change is having on our environment, our future, and what governments and technology can do about those impacts. So perhaps it's not surprising that the people actually impacted by climate change in the present are too often not part of those stories. But when someone experiences that kind of trauma, they need different voices and different stories. Once they've reestablished their safety, they need to be able to retell their story, reconnect with their community, and have that community repair the harm that they've experienced. The Climate Disaster Project's journalism supports these last three stages of trauma recovery, so we can cultivate the conditions for a whole of society response to the impacts and inequities of a warming world. Our students work with survivors to retell their stories and document them as first-person testimonies, because we know that these kinds of testimonies in an era where experience is more important than the evidence are more effective at reconnecting survivors with their communities. And they are more effective at increasing community support for actions that repair the harms of climate change. We then investigate the problems and solutions survivors identify in their testimonies, because we know that this kind of reporting can force action by governments. And we train students to do this work in a trauma-informed way, because when journalists report on these kinds of traumas, they often take control away from survivors who have already experienced such a profound loss of control, inflicting a second wound. So our students learn how to give back control to survivors when they document and investigate these stories, publishing the results with major news media outlets, and collaborating with artists to bring our journalism to diverse audiences. In doing so, our newsroom isn't just rewriting the story that we tell about climate change from a problem that only the powerful can solve to a problem that we can solve together. We are also changing who gets to author that story. And this is what that story sounds like, as told by Suzanne Kilroy-Hukalak, palliative care worker who was evacuated during the 2021 BC forest fire season and shared these words with me.
What brings me hope is prayers in our own rocks, our own medicines we pick from the land. What brings me hope is carry the teachings on and hold up your drum and just shout and la 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 la, and just say, I'm not scared, I'm here and I'm not going to give up. I'm Suzanne Kilroy and I'm Indigenous woman and I'm an Indian princess. I'm not going to give up. I'll hold my medicines and I say to the world, I'm going to carry on. As long as I'm breathing, I'm going to not give up. I'm going to do my part and carry on. We pick buffalo sleeves and sweet grass and sing and we dance and we drum and we say to the world, respect our lands. What gives me hope is this medicine, my grandma's prayers, that our children would be there. And that's what's going to carry our life on. Medicines, prayer, people.
So on behalf of the survivors, students, and educators of the Climate Disaster Project, I want to thank you for listening to this story, because we know that these kinds of stories can make a difference.